More on the breaking news with our justice correspondent, Evan Perez, and our CNN crime and justice reporter, Shimon Prokopez. Shimon, what is the latest?
Well, Wolf, as you said, the special counsel, according to this ABC News report, met with Michael Cohen, the former personal attorney to the president. The report says that the meetings had taken place over several hours over the last month. Certainly could spell more trouble for the president, who just within the last few weeks saw his former campaign chairman cooperate with the investigation. Now, according to this report, Wolf, the special counsel asked the former Michael Cohen, the former personal attorney, about dealings that the president had with Russia, asking questions about possible collusion, other dealings. And the other thing significant here, which would go to the obstruction investigation, is whether or not Michael Cohen was promised, either through the president or someone else, any kind of a pardon. So certainly this could spell more trouble for the president and would be a significant move here for the special counsel if, in fact, they did meet with him and did interview him for their investigation.
You know, Evan, Michael Cohen was the president's longtime so-called fixer and personal lawyer for at least a decade. How big of a threat, potentially, is his cooperation with Mueller, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, and maybe even with the attorney general in New York? How much of a threat is this to the president?
Well, potentially, he does pose a threat to the president, depending on what exactly he says, what stories he is telling, obviously. Look, again, we haven't confirmed this report. This is an ABC report. We've reached out to the special counsel. We're reaching out to Michael Cohen and his team to try to see what they'll tell us. But look, we know that for many years, Wolf, that Michael Cohen was, as he described, the president's fixer. He said he was willing to take a bullet for the president, and now suddenly he's going in to talk about the president's dealings with Russians, which obviously is something raises questions about whether what he's talking about the president's business, which the president has identified as a red line, something that he believes investigators should not be touching as a result of this investigation. We'll see what Mueller ends up doing with any of this information, but certainly, as this ABC report says, there are other agencies that are also involved, including, as you mentioned, the state of New York Attorney General and the prosecutors there in New York that are still looking at some of the other issues around Michael Cohen and the Trump organization.
I asked Michael Cohen's lawyer, Lanny Davis, for comment to this ABC story. He said, quote, Lanny Davis, attorney for Mr. Cohen, declined to comment. No inference should result from this no comment. Any reaction coming in from the White House, any place else?
Well, we've talked to people close to the president, and one of the things they immediately said was they're not surprised. They expected that Michael Cohen would probably at some point talk to Mueller, despite all the fireworks that Michael Cohen has caused as a result of his plea deal. But they also expressed that they don't think it's a big deal for the president. They are confident, they say, that Michael Cohen does not have anything to harm the president. Of course, that's what you'd expect the Trump team to say, but you have to think that they are looking back at everything that Michael Cohen was involved, especially because he was so close to the president for many, many years, the keeper of a lot of his secrets. You have to be prepared for whatever eventuality might come from this.
So assuming this ABC story is correct, what does Cohen get from all of this cooperation?
Even though
By the way, I want to show our viewers, these are live pictures coming in from Joint Base Andrews outside of Washington, D.C. This is in Maryland. The president just landing on Marine One from the brief little flight from the South Lawn of the White House. He's about to board Air Force One on a flight to Las Vegas. He's addressing political rally there later tonight. But go ahead, Shimon.
Look, even though he's pleaded guilty, he's not cooperating, he hasn't been given any kind of a cooperation agreement, there could come at a time during his sentencing, which is scheduled to be in December, that the special counsel or maybe even the attorney general in New York, the New York State Attorney General, decides that his cooperation was fruitful. They were able to learn things, they were able to pursue investigations, take action as a result of this information. And they can then go ahead and write a letter to the judge saying, hey, this guy was helpful to us, give him a break. Maybe instead of 3 years in jail, he gets a year in jail. Or in the end, if his cooperation becomes the biggest thing in this entire investigation, it could be that he doesn't see any jail time at all. In the end, you have to wonder if that is what Michael Cohen is hoping for here, because no one would touch him. No one would touch him as a cooperator while this thing was ongoing, while his investigation was ongoing. Now that he's pleaded guilty, he's facing jail time. They don't have to worry about his credibility as much. They've never made any promises to him. But in the end, he could get something. He himself has said he's doing this. He wants to cooperate for the good of the country, for his family. He wants to do the right thing. But this could prove significant if he is helpful and help him avoid jail time in December.
Yeah, he's supposed to be sentenced, Michael Cohen, December 12th, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. Around the same time that Paul Manafort, by the way, is supposed to get his sentence for his...
Michael Flynn.
And Michael Flynn as well, the
this,
president's former national security advisor, the president's former campaign chairman, and the president's former personal attorney. They're all supposed to be sentenced around mid-December, something along that. We'll all be busy those days. Guys, thank you.